Hello and welcome back to Badger Lodge Garage, and welcome to this 1972 Austin. Yep, it's not a Morris. Austin van. Now it's been a little while, haven't really had the time unfortunately, but we're back for what is possibly going to be a bit of a Christmas special, a bit of a long one, so put your slippers on and have a sit down because this could be a while. I think we're going to do a homage to the ever popular YouTube Will It Run. So we'll have a little walk around it, see what we've got, see what junk lies beneath. Start in the back, work our way to the front. I do have tyres for this, which is completely pointless because it's guaranteed to not have brakes. But we're just going to make it up as we go along and have a bit of a walk about. So let's bring you in and we'll have a look. And in a bizarre twist of events, I have keys for everything. So we're going to start in the back. Is it that one? Maybe. Gotta be, yes. And part of the reason that I bought this was its remarkable condition. I mean, look at it. Bit moist. There's no holes in the body. I mean, we've got junk. I mean, what's this? That's a bumper. It's not off this, I don't think. Seat, passenger seat. Got a half decent looking spare wheel. I mean, we can use that. No, that's a lie. We've got various bits of foam to stop the panels resonating, because that was obviously a problem. But yeah, no rot in the floor. We've had creatures. Oh yes, plenty of them. Rodents, little kids. So what I mean is, like the doors, it's all surface rust. Even in these corners that look a bit dodgy, that's not rot. That'll clean up. Got a lens cover missing. The original door straps. I mean, look at the roof. Still some shine. I think this is going to clean up. Now, I'm not a fan of, or not a massive fan of, patina, as they like to call it, but I think this is a rather good candidate. I mean, look down there. There's some shine there. Crack this open, hopefully it's the same key. Now I was in here, but only briefly, and it's been a little while. I never really had a good look, if you know what I mean. Definitely capsizing this way, it's low, it's at the ground. Sniff test. That's a homage to a popular American YouTuber. You may have seen him. And it's mild, actually. It doesn't, nothing gagging at me. Yeah. It is a tidy van, this. I like this a lot. Come in here and have a look. And there you have the Austin badge. Now that's one of the only things. There you go, steering lock as well on these later cars, vans. That was literally the only difference. Basically in 1968 Austin discontinued the A35 van. It's a very pretty little van that I do like very much. But Austin didn't have something to fill the void. So they just nicked the Morris Minor van and put a crinkly grille and some different badges on it and said, yes, this is an Austin. But I mean, look at it, it's not, is it? But look at that headliner. Look at that. That is immaculate. I don't think this is a van, this is a commercial vehicle. Now, notice the passenger seat's not in. This may have been not spec'd with one and someone's bought one to go with it. Because with the vans you did have to spec a passenger seat. I don't know if that was still the same by 72, but For a long time you did. If you wanted a passenger seat, you had to include it, otherwise you didn't get one. No glove box door, that's standard for a van. They didn't bother putting those in. What have we got here? Ooh. I'll have to give that a sniff. Can't. God, who put that on? There we go. Don't know what that is. Oh, free diesel filler cap, Ford one. What we got here? Oh, is that the proper chassis plate? Yeesh. Shame it's got that written on it, but there you go. Must be, mustn't it? That's meant to be attached, but someone's clearly taken that off. And what we got? A light unit. This is a Lucas. It's the early kind with the bulb, non-directional bulb, non-focus. Sorry. Free fuel pipe. That's going in the van. What else we got? SU pump. Yep. Looks okay-ish. Those are pretty good. You can rebuild them. They got a set of points in the back you can clean up. That'll go again, I'm sure. It looks pretty nice. Small light lenses. What are they off? Don't know. The glass ones though. A hubcap. That's not off this. And a load of light lenses that unfortunately I was hoping that rear indicator lens might be in here, but it's not. Did get a nice wooden box though. What we got on the floor? Oh yes. Need that, that's important. Crank handle. Gonna need that in a minute actually. Glad that's in here. And I think this is like a Ford spare wheel lowering, I think, or jack setup. Someone like their Fords. But look at this. Old school seat belt. That still works. Yep. And what's the mileage? 73,244 miles. And looking at it, I'd say that that's true. I mean, for a van, headline is perfect. Pedals aren't completely worn out. These are a bit shit anyway, so you can never really tell. A set of spark plugs. A set of champions. They better not be all they are. Oh yes, look at this. Now that is a good find. New old stock champions. That is excellent. That's worth the money on its own, that is. Look at that. Marvellous. That one's being cracked open for some reason. Just for a taste test, I'm sure. Oh, they can go back in there, that's good. Like that a lot. And a can of WD-40. Now the guys who did take this out of the barn, because that's where it was, did have a play already. So I can't remember how far or what they did, but they did have a play with it once they got it out. They might have got it running, I don't know. So well, while we're here, find that. There we go. Pop that, and we'll have a little look under the bonnet. But before that, just yep. No brakes, standard. The clutch feels clutchy though. It's got that, well, you know, it feels like a clutch. So We may be in luck there, but that's not happening. Oh well. Let's have a look under the bonnet. Already covered in stuff. Oh, popped in. Oh yeah. Oh, it's got the original battery terminals that you have to hammer on and drill a hole in the top of the terminal. Don't like it much, probably change them. Empty. Standard. But it is really rather good. Yeah, have a look at this. It is complete. Got nothing. These are the battery terminals on about. Look, you have to actually have a hole in the top of your battery terminal, which you can do, just drill a hole in it, but I'm sure that's going to void the warranty. We've got hoses. Oh yes, that's crispy. That's not going to burst immediately, obviously. Yes. But the wiring, haven't got too much mouse attack gone on, which is quite good. I think we just chuck a battery in and see what catches fire. So I just went and picked up the cheapest battery I could find, obviously. Didn't measure to see if it would actually fit in the hole, because why would you bother doing the right thing? You know, this is just a battery. But it contains electricity, so it will do. This is going to be positive earth, because this is such an original van. No one's going to ever have changed it to negative. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. That's it. Voltex battery. Nothing's on fire yet. Seen by positive earth, it is the positive goes to the earth, goes to the body, and negative goes to power. Why they did that, no idea really. And by 1972 it's a bit archaic, but that was how it was. Wonder what works. Wonder what's in... Never have a look in here actually. Off you come. Oh. Seen worse. That's free. It's even got oil in it. That's pretty good. Thought I need to go and buy some 3-in-1 to put in there, but it seems pretty good. Before we get too carried away, let's just make sure the engine turns over. Now, if you've been watching YouTube for a while, you've probably seen people putting spanners on the crank pulley and things like that, but luckily, because we're so in the dark ages still, we've got a starting handle. Just turn it over. Oh yeah. Got any oil? Some. It's not great. Ooh. It smells not particularly pleasant, but it's got some viscosity to it, but it's a big thick, too thick some may say, but it's enough to just see if it will run. And because this is a Morris Minor, we do have a button that just bridges this is the start solenoid, so if we've got the battery in, well, it will work. It'll without turning the key we can spark the solenoid. Basically there's a button, so we'll just see if it turns over and I don't get electrocuted maybe. Ooh, that sounds nice. That turns over rather well. Let's do that for a bit more. Let's get some oil flow. I like it a lot. So I wonder if we can just dribble a bit of fuel down and see if it's got any ignition. It might not have spark, mind. It might just turn over because all I'm doing is bridging that solenoid. Yeah, we'll go and see if the ignition works, I suppose. See if we've got some electrical goodness. I'll tell you what, this moving the camera around lot makes everything take so much longer. Got an ignition light, no oil pressure light. Could just be the switch. Can't even talk today. Blower. Ooh. Possibly left-hand indicator. Right-hand indicator. That's exciting. I'm going to have a look. Now we've got no left. We're leaving that on too long, burn up the coil, but there you go. We've got I think the dashboard lit up. This is exciting, isn't it? Well, we got lights. Let's have a look at some lights. That both rear reds. Headlight, side light, headlight, no side light. That's okay. This is going rather well. Oh, there we go. Indicator. Well, look at that. Nearly a full complement of lights. Oh, and number plate light even. Struve, I already tested that. That still flashes, that bulb. That is excellent. To put the camera back again, does it crank on the key? That is excellent. We're in very good stead at this point in time. I'm now thinking that I might have forgotten to bring my spark plug testers, but that's not the end of the world. I'll try and see if I can find them, and when we test for spark, I don't think we'll have any, but we'll give it a go. Oh, what about wipers for the sake of hub nut? And the self-park-ish. Oh, and an interior, can you see that? Interior light works. This is excellent. Yeah, there are decisions that people make in life when buying things, and so far, I'm not regretting this one. but I might eat my words in a minute, we shall see. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, but I'm just going to, it's just a spark plug tester. It came in a set on 4, you can put 1 on each, but I've just got the 1 with me today. What it does, it just goes in line on there and flashes if you've got spark at least to the plug. I'm not going to bother taking the spark plug out, because why would you do that? Well, it's sort of vaguely on there. Don't know if it will show up on the camera, but we'll give it a go. But I should be able to turn the ignition on, press the start solenoid button, and if we got spark, that'll flash. Ignition's on. Press the button. How very interesting. It's got a spark. That seems rather odd to me, because they don't generally, you know, have spark if it's been sat for so long. Oh, that's really. And there's points there. I wonder if they put points in it. The guys who pulled it out of the barn, they might well have done. Basically, it's very unlike, if a car's sat for what I think is 30 years, basically there's no way that would have spark. This was more of a, let's see what doesn't happen, but it did, if you see what I mean. So I reckon that looks fairly tidy in there. They've had a bit of a play and got spark out of it, so that makes less work for us. It'll probably still need a bit of a further going through, but we do have some spark. So I think that means we need to put some fuel down there and see if it makes some noise. See if we can side fill this U a little bit. It's got a little squirty bottle with some 2-stroke in it. Again, fairly standard practice these days for this kind of thing. Turn the ignition on. Ooh. Should probably have the fuel pump disconnected, because that's going to be pumping old tank crap in that we don't want, but it's not really going, so the fuel pump doesn't work. That's a good start. Just press the button, ignition's on. Ooh. Yes. There you go. Yes, that was a little bit of goage. Probably flooding it with too much fuel in it. Oh yes, it's going to go. It's going to go. That's probably full of gunge, but I might see if I can get some in there. I'm trying to fill the float bowl. I haven't pulled the choke out either. I do love this, it's easy to work on. Is that full? This is eager to go. Right, I think that's full. Float's closed. Go and pull the choke. Sorry, the mixture control, it's not choke on this. Sort of do that. Don't know, might do something, might not. Fill the float bowl up. Don't hold high hope, we'll give it a go. Pretty good. But I haven't touched the carb on this yet, so it's probably full of crab. Well. Running out of the bowl? Yep. Excellent. That ran very nicely. Turn that off. Don't want to blow up the coil. I love an SU. Marvellous carb. It was a little bit hesitate to go to start with, but oh yeah, this is good. But I don't want to run it for much longer, partly with no coolant and partly with that manky old oil in it. So I think we should probably do something about that. Right, I didn't want to run it much longer on that manky old oil because it was thick with about 3 Cs. So I'm going to just jack this up and change it. As you can see, we've got a marvellous surface to jack up on. So I'm just going to keep pumping on it until either the jack sinks into the ground or the van goes up. Right, let's get rid of this as well. Oh yeah, nothing wrong with this. This feels very safe. Oh yeah, sinking in. That's fine. Just keep going. Oh, that's all right. It's just filling the hole that it's created. So when it does fall and try to kill me, I won't get quite as squashed, just a bit. Cameraman, could you throw us the other thing? Thank you. Marvellous. Oh yeah, excellent. Ah. Yeah, that's fine. What can we see? Oh yeah, that's good. Right, we can see everything we need to. Oh, there we go. See what syrup comes out. Oh yes. That is really thick. That is syrup. It is syrupy. Nice. And yes, should be wearing gloves. I know. I've forgotten. Like I forgot quite a lot of things today. Ah, she's off. I'm gonna let that drain. It's probably gonna take, because we haven't got it warm, but I didn't want to run it too long on this old oil. It's gonna take probably a couple of oil changes in quick concession to properly get it a bit cleaner in there, but I'd rather do that than this old gun juice. I mean, look at it. Yeesh. Just got the filter off. This is the paper element type, the original kind. It is just a paper element, sits in here, and you've got this plate with a spring underneath it, and that pushes the filter up against its top housing. Now people have been known to lose this plate, so always if you've got one of these old filters, make sure it's still got this plate in there, because if it isn't there, the filter just sinks to the bottom and just doesn't filter anything. The idea is, if you've got a blockage or a stuck filter and the oil needs to get through, it pushes it down on the spring and you get some oil through. So you need that plate, because what happens is it gets stuck to the bottom of the filter when people take it out and then they toss the filter away and then there's no plate. And then when they put the new one in, they might as well have not bothered because it's just dirty oil cycling through. So always make sure that plate's there. I'm going to give this a blast with the brake cleaner and give her a clean up. I've got a new filter that just went down the road and we shall put it all back together. So I'll clean that. You can see all the individual components. So it is literally that goes in there. The spring goes down on top of that. The plate goes in. And in this case, it did have a little springy thing that stops you from accidentally losing the plate, like I said, is a potential. So we will put that back on. And then you plonk the filter in. And then you screw it back up like you would a regular oil filter. The only difference being that this has an O-ring that goes in the housing. This one that also comes in the box with the filter. So it is literally that. Screw it back up with the new seal that goes up in there, and yeah, you're away. Right, do it. Right. Let's try and get some oil back in it now. Put the filter in, drain the old stuff out. It's going to take more than just one oil change. It'll take a couple because that's pretty manky in there, to be honest. The oil pressure light didn't work on this. I had no oil pressure technically way of telling, apart from I could see with the cap off there was oil at the top of the engine, which is a good indicator that you've got at least some flow going on. So I'm not too concerned about that, but we should dump some of this in now. This is just 2050 as specified by BMC. I think it's about 6 pints, it's not very much. So I should probably overfill this now. There we go. Let that settle, see what we get. 2050 is thick stuff, but that's what they specify. Just because the tolerances in these engines are pretty vague. So we'll let that slug its way down to the bottom. See how much we put in. Yep, overfull, that's good, but we've got to pump some into the filter. And in this instance, I'm not going to just turn it over with the ignition on and try and start it, because I want to pump some oil into the filter first. It's easy to do on this because obviously I can just leave the ignition off and press the start button just to spin it over and sort of prime the oil system a bit. On these older engines, I prefer to do that. Oh, ow, my finger. Normally I'd say to do it until the oil pressure light goes out, but it doesn't work. Let's see if it's sucked down any. Yes, it has, there you go. See, it was overfull and now it's below max, so that means we do have some oil circulation going on. And that means I'm much happier to run this a bit longer. But I would like to put some coolant in it. Now these hoses all look awful. That's about as hard as a piece of rock. This is split. But I'm just going to dump some coolant in and see what leaks, because we can't know until we find out, and I'm sort of can't be asked at this exact juncture to change that hose. I will do before we take it on the road. And you say, why don't you use water? That's expensive putting coolant in. Yes, it is, but it is also December, and it's definitely going to freeze and blow the block out, knowing my luck. So we'll just use some coolant. All of this has got to be drained and flushed, I'm sure, at some point anyway. I don't know if the radiator's even going to hold water. Water pump's probably going to leak. Everything's going to leak, let's be honest. That top hose is leaking immediately. We haven't even got to that level yet. Okay. Might have to do something about that. Yeah. Bottom hose isn't though. That's just awful. Right, okay. Try and destroy those clips off because they're never going to unscrew. So we found a new top hose, put that on. Just going to continuing. Something's leaking somewhere. Or was that me spilling it?
Oh, we've got a leak in the back of the radiator.
Radiator is leaking. Marvellous. That or I've spilt it. No, definitely leaked. Great. Oh, that's fine. We can. I very much anticipated the radiator would be a bit had it. But what that does mean is we've got oil in it. We have water. That thermostat housing looked atrocious, so that probably won't work. We'll just see if we can get a little bit of temperature in it. You know, I don't think it can do us any harm at this point. So we've got some coolant. We have to keep topping that up. Fresh oil. I've filled the float bowl up again. We're just going to turn it over, see if I can start it on the key. See if we can run it for a little while. Oh, lost her. Don't fiddle with the choke too much, eh? Oh, we've run out of fuel already. Also possible. Yes. Oh yeah. Got some warmth. Thermostat's warm. Might have just opened as I did that. I need some more fuel. Needed a bigger squirty bottle. Oh, oil pressure lights come on as well.
What?
Does that mean it started working? Yes.
Hey!
Fuel pump started working. Is it squirting anything?
No.
Hopefully not. No.
I think it sounds like it's not pulling anything.
Shouldn't be. If I imagine a tank's dry, what I'll do is take the wire off the back.
Yeah.
Because we don't really want that going. We don't need fuel pump currently. We will want it, but not just yet. That's good. That's decided to start working as well. The oil pressure light's just come back on as well. It's coming back to life. Probably here, it's not quite right, but it's not bad either. There we go, off choke. Not sure we've got coolant circulation yet, or we might just about have some. Excellent. Still just running on what's in the float bowl. Not sure we got fuel circulation yet. Oil pressure light's working now. Didn't work before, it's just decided to join in the party, so we do have oil pressure. Not charging, but you can't have it all, and at this point, this is fantastic. So, because that went quite well, I just want to see if we can get any gears where the clutch works, because it feels clutchy, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. So I thought we'd just give it a go, because it should just start now on the key. I love an A-series. The exhaust has got a massive blow from down there somewhere. But anyway, I don't know if we're going to get... Ooh. No is the answer to that, I think, because it feels like... Ooh. She's running well now. Needs a bit of heat. It's just running what's in the float bowl as well. But I imagine the pressure plates, the friction plate, sorry, stuck to the flywheel, because that's releasing it, but I can't select a gear, or it feels like it is. It feels fairly positive. So we might have to try and push it down the road or something and bounce it in a gear with the clutch down to see if we can separate the two halves. That could be really joyful. Doesn't work. That's disappointing. But engine runs, doesn't charge. Yeah, that blows. Oh yeah. Green. Yep. What an excellent machine. I can see why you put those bits of wood in there though, and rag is rattling around back there already. That's slightly annoying, but is what it is. Right, so next thing, I've just taken the thermostat off because it wasn't actually flowing. It's a bit murky in there, but we did have to see the reason why that didn't work very well. But where's it gone? This was full of aluminium powder, so that's not going to work. Just had to give it a bit of persuasion. Spray it, spray some juice, and keep going like that. And it did eventually work off with screwdrivers, and I'm just going to been giving it a bit of a clean up, and we might put it back together without a thermostat for the time being, just because I want to get a bit of flow through it, see if we can knock some of that crap off. We'll put a thermostat back in, but not at this exact juncture, because I've got a feeling I'm going to be flushing this. I'm going to have to take the radiator out and that bottom hose to replace all of that stuff anyway. So, and that tiny little bypass hose down there, they rot out quite quick. So it's good practice to put a new one of those in while it's all out. So, right, yeah. What I would like to try and do is just to get this to run off the fuel tank though, would be nice. Just for a bit. So I'll reassemble that later. And I've got to have a look at this bit in a minute.
Yes.
So I want to try and run it off the tank, but if you look up in there, that's the filler neck, and it's a little bit crispy. So I don't think we're going to manage to fill that at the moment. So I want to try and fight that off, and see if we can get a new bit of hose from down the road. I'm not entirely convinced it's going to be a particularly fun one, but I won't drag you through that. We'll just try and get it off and see what we can put a new one on. So I've put a new bit of hose in there. I spared you that one because that was all crispy. So I'm going to put some fuel in it and see if it will fall at the bottom. Basically. Bought a 2 gallon can. That's UK gallons for you Americans, by the way, which is different. Still cost 13 quid. 13 quid for a gallon of fuel. Let's see what we can do without sloshing too much. Oh, it's leaking. Oh dear. That answers the question. We got haulage. Oh, what a waste. Yep, no, that has answered that question. It will not run off the tank. That's a good hole as well, my word. Okay, I'll add that to the list. Fuel tank needed. Brilliant. Glad I didn't put too much in, flipping heck. It's not made of money. So now we've made it worse. Taken that apart, there's no coolant in it. It probably wants flushing. And it needs a radiator as well. Now the price is going up. Might work out how to rig up a temporary fuel system so we can just get that pump going and let it run for longer than having to feed it on the squirty bottle. Would be quite nice. But in the meantime, why not we just take the wheels off, because, you know, we'll just ignore that problem and move to another one and carry on making the shopping list, because we've got to do that. Yeah, we'll do that. So as we've clearly got that far, I'm just going to ignore that problem and put some new tyres on it. That's obviously what you do next, isn't it? I'm going to have to start making a list of things I need. Radiator, thermostat, fuel tank. It's going to get expensive, but got to have them. Overall though, I think we're pretty good really. Yeah, it is ridiculously good really. One hold fuel tank and a leaky radiator, I still think that's pretty good going overall. It's not going to take much to truly get it back on the road, I don't think. Obviously we haven't really delved into the brakes. Let's have a look under the carpet actually. See if we can see the reservoir and what kind of carnage lays beneath. From what the pedal first felt like, oh, that's good. That's the battery retainer. I keep finding goodies. Bits of wood. That's the other bit for the battery retainer as well. But what I meant is this is not good, because the master cylinder is clearly seized, and the master cylinder on this is under the floor. Interesting to see what the floor's like. Not too bad by the looks of it. Oh yeah, that's all right. There it is. That's the master cylinder. The reservoir. Going to be cutting that out pretty much. Guarantee if we pop that open there'll be nothing in it. But it's got a floor. That's better than some things I've bought. Yeah. Right. That's definitely going to be on the list, but we'll crack it open. We'll see if we can crack it open. 13/16. I'll crack her open. This rug is annoying. Rubber mats in the vans, quite nice. Shame that sort of it had it really. It's all got to come out, but oh yeah, dry as a bone, but not actually completely awful. Definitely stuck though. That's a shame. Oh well. What you have to do is take this panel out and then almost guaranteed to have to cut the bolts off, because they'll be the wrong way around and the torsion bar will be in the way. And it's a pain, to be honest. Pain in the backside. But got to be done. But we'll put some tyres on it first, because that's clearly more important than brakes. So this is what I'm going with. This is Blockley 145R14. Yeah. Now Blockley do, that is what they do, classic car tyres. And it should have, it's got a nicer, taller sidewall basically, because wheels and tyres truly do make all the difference to how a car looks. And if you've got a really skinny, modern type radial, they do tend to look a bit, makes the wheel look a bit lost in the arch. So I did a bit of research and found out these guys make tyres that are more suited to classic cars with a taller sidewall. So I've just got these mounted up on the front because that's going to fix all our problems of leaky fuel tanks and things. Now the rear had these Firestone Town and Countries on it. Now I would have loved to get replacements for these because I really like how it looks with the rest of the van. Unfortunately they don't really exist anymore. This was popular when you needed your van to go anywhere and do everything really. So you had these off-roady tyres they made. Very 60s, 70s thing to do. And I think this van was a farm agricultural engineer, that's it, he ran this. So this did a fair bit of work in fields. So I have got another couple to go on the back, but for now we shall put these on the front. There we go. Still sitting a bit high at the front because it's sinking into the stones at the back. But yeah, I like that. That's quite a substantial looking tyre. I just need another patinaed hubcap. Anybody's got any rusty plain hubcaps they want to send us? These are the plain ones because they swapped them between the Morris and the Austin badges. So just kept the hubcaps plain. Kept it simple that way. But yeah, no, I like the look of those. Again, shame about the old Firestones, but we want decent rubber, really. Yeah, see? If you can't fix it, put new tyres on it, eh? But in all seriousness, that's about as far as we can go for now, I think, without stuff. We need parts. We need a fuel tank, radiator, thermostat and thermostat housing. And I'd probably like to chuck a hose in the top of that as well. Give it a flush out because it was a bit manky. I do have some more hoses for the front because when the radiator's out we might as well replace all of those hoses, probably the heater hose as well. But we did answer the question. It does run. It runs quite well actually for what it is. It doesn't drive, but I think we can sort that out without stripping too much. We'll give that a go as well. But it doesn't stop either, so you know, why do you need to stop anyway? That's overrated. We just need to go. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Have a very good Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year for more fun with old stuff I've bought off the internet. Thank you. Cheerio.